With Yeasayer, everything seems possible. Every influence is acceptable. I tried a list. The Zombies, Beach Boys, Neil Young, Incredible Swing Band, Steve Reich, Meredith Monk, Arthur Russell, yes. Brian Eno, yes. Talking Heads, yes. But it remains pop music. Where do you come from? What do you think?
You named it all. There you go. That's interview's over. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We try to just set out a list instead of what our influences are. We try to set out a list of what our influences aren't going to be, and then we can just draw from everything and steal from everybody. Yeah, so it's better.
In your songs, the voice is prominent. Is very important. You create strange vocal harmonies. Can you tell us about this presence of voices in your compositions?
I don't know, we've always been interested in vocals. We've always been singing in vocal groups since we were little kids, and I've never really been interested in purely instrumental rock music. I've always wanted to have a voice in there. It's that one thing that you can't duplicate with synthesizers or anything. You know, you can't recreate the human voice playing an instrument. So that's the one thing. It's the intangible, you know, that stands out and really defines the sound of the song.
And it's what we like to do. We like to sing, yeah. So it makes sense to have as much singing as possible, I guess.
Your musical approach reminds us of something tribal, like pagan rituals. You live in New York City. Is it a way for you to leave the town and its urban noises?
Wait, say it again?
You live in New York City.
Yeah.
The fact that it reminds us something tribal, the using of the voice, is it a way for you to leave the town and is urban noises, cars, shops?
I don't know if we're intentionally trying to be tribal, but yeah, I think we do try to incorporate a lot of sounds of the city. You know, it's a very inspiring city. You know, I think for one of the songs, Sunrise, I really wanted to have the sound of like a bus screeching on its brakes as part of the beat. You know, and we just sample that in and have it come in. You know.
So I think some of the tribal qualities that people pick up on might be a reaction to that. But it's also more us being influenced by a lot of records that weren't made in an urban environment, probably. You know, I'd say so.
I think we kind of get carried away with just throwing as many voices as we can, and once you have 50 different voices on a track, it's going to sound like a tribal seance, you know.
Each song seems apart, but when we listen to the album, it's impossible to listen to those songs separately. They work together like something hypnotic.
Yeah.
We weren't so sure that it would at first. We didn't know that it would work together. We thought they were two different songs, but
that was kind of what I was scared of. I thought that we were going to get more criticism for it being disjointed and fractured. But we thought for a long time about how the album would flow and the ups and downs and the peaks and valleys, and so I think that you can kind of tell that, and there is some cohesion that fits the album together, you know.
A word about the New York scene. Is there any connection between young bands like Vampire Weekend, MGMT, and Yeasayer? How can we explain this new artistic explosion?
I don't know. I mean, I think New York has always been a mecca for artists. You know, going back since it began, and we didn't know any of those guys before we moved to New York. We all just knew that New York was a great place to get exposure and to get inspiration for your music. But you know, now that we made the album without any kind of scene at all. We were completely working in a bubble in our basement. We even recorded a lot of it in Baltimore. But I think it's just the fact that really talented people are coming from all over the country to New York, and they're getting recognition that they deserve, you know.
Yeah, it's a place where a lot of people want to move to do interesting things, because, you know, it's sometimes more difficult to do what you want to do in another town in America. But but now it seems like we're all friendly with those guys, and especially MGMT, who we toured with. But I don't know that our process is similar, or any of our. I mean, some of our ideas are. We just, you know, we like them.
Yeah, artistic point of view, in common.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably a desire to push boundaries within a pop music context, I think, is a similar thing.
Open-minded approach.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I've never really talked to them about specifically what their
approach,
approach is. You know, I know that we have a sense of humor in common, which is important.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the better things we have in common for sure.
Oh,
Thanks.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.